Hey guys, the big news yesterday was that a visibly relieved Federal Reserve finally found the scapegoat they need so they can just admit, yeah, it's a recession. As CNBC put it, quote, fallout from the U.S. banking crisis is likely to tilt the economy into recession, according to the Federal Reserve. In other words, okay, fellas, go ahead, break the news, our butts are covered. Now, the U.S. has been clearly headed for a recession for about a year now. We actually had the magic 2 negative quarters of shrinkage early last year, which had been the widely recognized definition of a recession. So every single time since World War II that there were 6 months of shrinkage, the Jedi Council at NBER would bestir themselves to mumble, it's a recession. But not this time. This time they say, nope, this is fine. Perhaps because there was an election right around the corner and Joe Biden needed some help from his friends, while the NBER doubtless needed a budget bump and some fresh office chairs. So what happened next? A U.S. economy limping along right above the waterline with real growth averaging 0.7%. Now that's about the same as population growth. So treading water with just a little bit of water getting into the nose. In fact, the main thing keeping the water out of the nose has been the labor market, which is itself resting on some very sandy ground. For starters, in early COVID, tens of millions of Americans dropped out of the workforce since they were paid to stay home. In some cases, they were mandated to stay home. This means historic labor shortage, so restaurants, roofers couldn't find workers, so they either had to pull 16-hour days or they had to close down themselves. Most of those millions took their sweet time rejoining the Labor Party, rolling off the couch when the stimulus checks or extended unemployment benefits rolled off. This slow return made unemployment look artificially low. If you're collecting benefits instead of looking for work, the government counts you as out of the workforce. Essentially, you are statistically retired. You're only unemployed if you're actually looking for a job. So yes, all of those thousands of people living in tents on the streets of LA, they're not unemployed. Literally, the government counts them as essentially retired. Much more concerning is the millions of Americans who have permanently dropped out of the workforce. Compared to pre-pandemic, we're missing about 2 million workers, according to the BLS. That goes up to about 6 million if we compare it to the Trump-era trend. So where did all of those people go? Well, some cashed out and retired early, but most are on disability, potentially forever. The number of officially disabled Americans went up by 2.5 million since pre-pandemic. Now it totals 33 million. So about 1 in 5 workers is allegedly unable to work. And since they aren't looking for work, once again, off the list they go. Presto, lowest unemployment in a generation. Now, our smoke and mirror economy is finally running out of gas. In 5 months, we've seen over 300,000 layoffs in the tech sector alone. CEO surveys say widespread hiring freezes and recession preparations. Car loan defaults are soaring. Over 500,000 Americans are late on their car payments. And mortgages could be right behind, especially the 6 million variable rate mortgages whose payment doubled for many houses which were bought at the peak. Now that the Fed's given their statistical storytellers permission to use the R word, I think we will start to see the curtains pull back on a lot of shell games and stored up trouble hiding inside the top line economic numbers. I'll be looking at winners and losers, impact on the rest of the world, and especially the impact of AI. If we lose millions of jobs, will they ever come back? So there's lots happening, and we'll be watching. See you next time.